Hi, folks. Welcome to Udizzy's place. He and I are actually working together today, and he found this in a scrapyard and managed to score it for 20 bucks. And I'm sure a bunch of you would say that, you know, oh man, he should have paid him 20 bucks and left it there. But I just want to stop for 30 seconds and show you a couple things. First of all, look at the tires that are on it. That one's flat, the other one isn't, but he'll probably get air into them and it'll be fine. The rear end bearings are good. See, no play. He's got the back shock. He's got the whole back assembly. And you say to yourself, big deal, who cares? Let me show you. This is why you should care. You find yourself some mini bike somewhere and you could build something cool out of it. Okay? So, once again, we only got 20 bucks invested so far. Let's see what else we got here. It has a motor on it, right? And carb. Has the throttle here somewhere. Here's the throttle, right? And by the way, the motor, the carb is complete. It still has the air cleaner on it. And the carburetor. See, we got the starter, the motor. It actually looks clean. It doesn't look like there's that many miles on it. This is one of those upside down. See the 86 here? This is actually a 90cc. You see no shift lever anywhere, right? So we know it's a 90cc automatic. For some reason, somebody cut the front end off. I don't know if they're going to turn this into a trike or a power unit to push something. I'm not quite sure what they were up to, but such is life. But our next determination is, should you score one of these? Once again, you got the exhaust, you got the whole bit. For $20, I think he stole this more or less. For those of you who say I can pick these up for free, pick them up for free and bring them to my house, and I'll give you 20 bucks for them.
Yeah, they look this good. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
even without the front end, this looks really good.
Right. I mean, it still has the things, the guards on the motor.
The battery case is all intact.
Right. I mean, there's a lot here. So anyway, so now you got the thing home and you already decided, you paid the 20 bucks for the tires, the rear end, the exhaust system, and the stuff you could see. Is the motor any good? And it's so simple to figure this out. First thing you do is on the side of the motor, you see this thing? I already loosened it. So you just spin it off. That simple. And then in the case of this one, what was this, a 14?
14 millimeter.
Yeah, you just put a 14 on it and you see if it'll turn around. And in my case, I can not only feel it turn around, but it's got compression, right? It's not banging any of the valves, right? I've gone around a couple of times. Here's another compression stroke, right? So I can feel that it's really happy. We'll just put that back on so I don't lose it. You know, when you work in somebody else's shop, I'll put things one place and he'll be like, where'd Harvey put that moron? So, anyway, remember the jump pack? Once again, this was going to the scrapyard. Udizzy scored this, right? So, let's say we got the old jump pack here, and I'm going to let Udizzy do some filming whilst I play with the wires. Here you go. So we got the wires for the jump pack, and we're going to turn this on, right? Black is ground in the case of this jump pack. We already tried that. And white is hot. So if I put 12 volts, this is the starter, and this is the wire that goes into the starter right there, right? You guys can see that, hopefully. So let's say I just check this out, and let's see what it does.
Wow. She sounds good, healthy. That's for sure.
Now,
for $20.
Yeah, for $20, this motor sounds good. Let me borrow that back again for 1 sec.
Absolutely.
Now, what I would do next with this is, once again, down here, you got the blue and white. I'd put the red wire from my universal CDI unit onto that. The green wire, I put one of the two black wires from my universal CDI unit. and the last black wire I would put here. I'd turn on my universal CDI unit, right? I'd spray a little ether right in here, and I'd hit the starter. And you know what she would do? She would start up and go crashing into the wall.
Well, that's why I put it up there, so if it started to take off, I could just lift it up, you know?
And everybody would laugh because I'd run my foot over and all the rest of it. Oh, yeah. But he did very, very well. From a you know, am I going to turn this back into a China quad point of view? The only problem with China quads is even if you welded a front end to it and got it running and all that, it's only worth it like $150.
It's still a China quad.
It's still a China quad that has no value.
You know, I see the value of the pieces, like the shock, the rear end, the chain, the sprocket, the axles all tight, everything. You got the guards for the sprocket and the brake disc. All those have a value, the caliper. So if you took it from here back and put that on, like you say, a mini bike or build a custom frame where you could do it, like you said, to push a cart,
right,
know, or what have you, you know?
Right, but in addition with this rig, you have a motor that I think is an easy runner. I think this motor would run easily. So now what you could do is, now you're thinking more like up around here. You decide what you're going to put as the front end, whether you're just going to hack a set of handlebars onto it, or if you're going to cut the back off like a go-kart and put this on the back of the go-kart. Right. You know what I mean? Now you make a decision. Is this going to become a go-kart, or am I going to do something with the front end and turn it into another trike?
Right.
So,
or put it back as a quad. You know,
right.
That's the thing that I say. There's so many pieces here that it's endless. This could be anything.
Right.
So I couldn't let it sit in the junkyard. You know? And I seen the wires were cut. And me, as someone that wasn't smart, I said, well, let me look at the value of everything but the engine.
Right.
I said, well, I'll give them 20 for it, you know?
Right.
Now we've got a bonus because the engine's good too.
Right.
So.
Right. And you know, from a sell it for parts point of view, it's always hard because who are you going to sell the rear end to? You and I, you know, we pretend to be Thomas Edison lookalikes or something, right? So we look at that rear end and say it has an intrinsic value to be built into something new. Yeah. So from that point of view, it's not worth anything. But from the point of view of you folks out there who find these things and, you know, should I take it home or shouldn't I? Is it something worth playing with? I'd say yes, it is. And, you know, grab it and go for it. So, anyway, I'm going to sign off now. Folks, Udizzy and I would like to thank you all for coming and watching. Subscribing to our channel and supporting us.
And thanks for all the encouragement.
Yeah, really. Thanks for the encouragement. You know, I'm sure Udizzy could say just as well as I could say. You know, on those cold days where it's easy to stay upstairs and watch Dr. Phil or Oprah or eat nachos. You know, the comments and the encouragement is what makes us you know, go down to. He comes down to his shop. It's beneath his house. This is in his basement, or in my case, I go outside to the upper garage. I mean, that's kind of why we do it. You know, because you get the encouragement. You know, without that, it's easy. You know, quite easily to roll over and grab another hour of sleep.
Yeah, that's right. You get caught up in the midst of Jerry Springer or Maury Povich. You know what I mean? This is much better. Come down the shop, play with something, get something out of the dump, and make something out of it.
Yeah. I'm hoping that some of the young folks that watch our channels will get back into this too. It seems that a lot of the young folks, you know, are into more of the finger games rather than the hand and arm games of building things. That's right. You know.
It's all this.
Yeah. It's and there's nothing wrong with that. Occasionally, Dave and I have to do the finger games and send texts and emails and all that trivia.
Yeah, and
But it'd also be cool,
stuff, yep.
yeah, be cool if you guys came to our world and worked on some of this too. Dave and I love the young people that are following in our footsteps. After all, somebody's going to have to inherit all this junk
That's
when
right.
we go.
Clean up our mess.
Anyway, once again, folks, thanks for your support, watching, and commenting. Don't forget, subscribe to Udizzy, and keep coming back to the Horde. Bye now, folks.